The Supreme Court set to release its ruling on a case that may overturn Roe versus Wade, that landmark abortion rights access Supreme Court ruling. We should get word from the justices by the end of the month. And until then, we're looking at new data released today showing abortions in the U.S. went up in 2020, reversing a more than 30-year decline, according to the Guttmacher Institute, an abortion rights advocacy group. Even though there was a spike in demand for abortions, the pandemic has made it more difficult for patients to see doctors face to face. So the FDA relaxed some rules about telemedicine and abortion pills sent by mail. Now, with a post-Roe world potentially in sight, online clinics say they're seeing a spike in abortion pill requests, which are ordered privately and on a smartphone. NBC's Isa Gutierrez talked with somebody who had this experience. Here's that story.
This is misoprostol. I took 12 of these pills total over the course of 9 hours.
Emma, who asked us to not show her face in fear she'd get in legal trouble for sharing her story, lives in South Texas.
I was very surprised because I was taking precautions.
The 29-year-old was on birth control when she found out she was pregnant last February.
I immediately started searching for options to access an abortion in the state of Texas.
But just a few months earlier, in September of last year, Texas's 6-week abortion ban went into effect.
I contacted my local Planned Parenthood clinic. They let me know that based on my last menstruation cycle, I was already past the 6-week mark.
Emma says they referred her to a clinic 8 hours away in New Mexico. She made the decision to self-manage her abortion with medication obtained from a friend.
I was watching these YouTube videos from my home that is no more than 2 miles from a Planned Parenthood clinic where only 6 months prior I would have been able to receive care.
In December, the Food and Drug Administration lifted a major restriction on abortion pills, permanently allowing patients to receive abortion medication by mail instead of requiring them to receive them in person.
There are a ton of virtual clinics that have popped up in the United States ever since the FDA stopped enforcing its in-person dispensing requirement.
But the future of those clinics is in question. 19 states require clinicians to be physically present for one or more visits, effectively eliminating access by mail. Then there's the Supreme Court draft opinion on Roe v. Wade leaked last month.
It looks like roughly half the country will ban abortion within a few months of that decision.
We instantly had, like 35 times the amount of web traffic than we did the day before.
Robin Tucker is a clinician at Aid Access, a nonprofit that provides access to medical abortion by mail around the world.
We got an overwhelming surge pretty much immediately in patients who were requesting pills in advance of being pregnant.
Unlike many U.S.-based telehealth abortion clinics, Aid Access is able to provide medication to patients in states with tighter restrictions by having the medication prescribed and shipped from overseas.
Texas has no jurisdiction over providers in Europe or over pharmacies in India. It can't really do much about it.
Still, people like Emma worry about the additional hurdles those seeking help could face in a post-Roe society.
I stumbled upon many roadblocks, but I was able to navigate them. I know that there's going to be a lot of individuals who will see it as the end of the path and turn around and continue with an unwanted, unplanned, undesired pregnancy.
Isa is joining us now. So, Isa, what is the landscape for states when it comes to abortion pills if, let's say, the Supreme Court does, in fact, overturn or take steps to overturn Roe v. Wade?
Sure. So, Hallie, in some states, this is already effectively banned, right, for people to be receiving these pills in the mail. The bigger question is, will states actually be able to stop people from accessing digital help for their abortions and getting these pills in the mail? And the answer to that question is probably not, right? The legal expert who I spoke with explained to me that in the next 5 to 10 years, we're likely to see states experiment with a bunch of different types of new laws to try and crack down on this. But the reality is that it's really difficult to track mail that's coming in and out of a state. And on top of that, what Robin Tucker from Aid Access explained to me is that right now there's no test to trace these drugs in a person's body. So they go to a clinic, they say that they had a positive pregnancy test, and now they're experiencing bleeding. There's no way for physicians right now to tell whether there was a miscarriage that happened naturally or if it was medically induced. So those are just some of the barriers right now. I quickly want to give a shout out to Chloe Atkins, our NBCNews.com reporter who contributed her reporting to this piece today.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.